everybody, welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to play the guitar solo from the classic Van Halen song Beautiful Girls. Now just like the original, you want to make sure your guitar is tuned down 1/2 step. So E becomes E flat, A becomes A flat, D becomes D flat, etc. You know the drill. Alright, let's jump on into it. Alright, section 1 goes like this. Alright, here it is slowly and then we're going to break it down. Now, tabbing that was really challenging because of the whammy bar dips, and sometimes the whammy bar dip is happening at the same time as a bend, kind of. It got really tricky trying to tab that out, so I'm going to walk you through it. For the first note, which is that 4th fret of the G string, before you strike the note, you're going to bring the bar down about a full step, so equivalent to 2 frets, right? Bring the bar down, hit the note, bring the bar up, and immediately go into a full step bend, and then as you bring that bend down, you do a whammy bar dip, back, and then bring the bend back up. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Okay. Whoops, a little almost harmonic got in there. All right, really hard to tab that out. And one other thing I want to mention about that first note is that oftentimes I'll see people tab it and play it where they're hitting the 5th fret of the G string and going, or that's wrong, okay? And what's happened is over the years, well, at some point in time, somebody notated it that way in tab form. And then, you know how tabs work. People will copy it and then they'll post it somewhere and it becomes gospel. It starts spreading. But it's definitely wrong. Don't play it that way. And then for the second note, which is the 2nd fret of the G string, you're going to bring the bar down 2.5 steps, which is the equivalent of 5 frets. Okay, so you're taking the A note down to E. Okay? All right? But you bend the bar down first 2.5 steps, and then hit the 2nd fret of the G string, bring it up, and then a full dip, same amount, okay? And you'll notice that I tabbed the open A string at the same time. That's an accident. Well, I tabbed it intentionally, but when Eddie did it, I'm assuming it was an accident. I don't think he intended for that note to sound, but it does sound out while he's playing that 2nd fret G string note with the whammy bar dips. Okay, so I wanted to make sure I captured that. I wouldn't get hung up on that. I just wanted to be as close to the original as possible, so don't get hung up on that. It's there. All right? And then with that 2nd fret A string note, you're going to slide up to the 9th fret, and then you're going to do that, okay? The 10th fret of the beat goes by really quick, okay? Now that final bend at the 11th fret of the G string, it's a 1.5 step bend, so you're going from here to here. A lot of times I'll see people tab that and play it with a 1/2 step bend, so going from the 11th to the 12th fret. So it'll sound like this. And that sounds pretty cool, it just has a very bluesy feel to it. Right? It sounds really cool, but it's not right. You're supposed to go up 1.5 steps to hit the A note. All right, let's move to the next part. Section 2 goes like this. Let's do that slowly, and then we'll break it up into pieces. All right. Now, a couple things I want to call out here specific to the bends. The first 2 bends on the high E string, the first one's a 1.5 step bend, and the second is a 2-step bend. So the first one takes it from here to here, and the second from here to here. Okay? All right? Then when we start doing the bends on the B string, the first one, what I want to call out there is that it's a slower release. Okay? And then the last bend, I tabbed it as 2 bends. It's more like kind of like a wide vibrato, but I wanted to tab it in such a way that it seemed like you could follow it more easily than just capturing like a squiggly wide vibrato, okay? Here's that whole part slowly again. All right, and also before that final bend, make sure you pause for just a little bit before going into it. move to the next part. Here's section 3. All right, let's slow that down now, and then we'll break it up into pieces. Okay, so the first thing I want to call out is look at the second note. You see how I tabbed it kind of small? We talked about this in the last lesson. That basically means that you're going past that note pretty quickly, right? So for the first 5 notes, it's like this. All right? You don't want to draw that note out like this. Right? You want to go past it quickly. All right? Now if you want, you can skip that second note in and just go like this. Because it happens so quickly, most people won't notice either way if you're playing that note or not. And then finally with those last 4 notes, what I want to call out is when you go like this. If that's a little too tricky for you to do it that fast, you could always do it this way, right? You're replacing the 14th fret of the B with the 18th fret of the G. It's the same notes, just played differently on the fretboard, so do whatever's more comfortable for you. And then finally, section 4 goes like this. Pretty easy, right? Let me slow it down though. Don't forget to pause there. Not that long, but you know what I mean. Now, again, that one should give you no trouble if you've made it this far. Although I will call out, a lot of times you'll see people tab the first 3 notes as 2-4-2 on the G string instead of 3-4-2, so like this. Okay? If you play either way, it's going to sound fine. Most people won't know the difference or hear the difference, but when I slow down the original, I hear it this way. Alright, that was my video showing you how to play the guitar solo from Van Halen's Beautiful Girls. If you enjoyed it, feel free to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you aren't already. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get all of my videos as soon as they come out. If you have any questions, leave those down below and I will answer all of them as time allows. As always, until next time, rock on.